like 2 episodes, so just find those episodes. Those are
Sounds
funny
good.
ones.
Hey, Mike, what about you?
I don't watch TV, man. I don't watch TV.
Broadcast TV, Canadian TV, Schitt's Creek.
That's right. I watch Corner Gas.
He watches the moose walk down the street.
Maple syrup dripping.
You know what I do watch? I watched the
Hockey.
CBC version of Home Alone 2 without Donald Trump in it.
Hey, what?
James, did you not hear that he got cut out of the CBC version?
No, I did not hear that.
Yeah,
Really? He tweeted about it, right?
I don't follow his tweet.
he was very disappointed.
Okay, guys, I'm going to give you a quick what's what of this. Okay, back in 2014, CBC had the rights to air Home Alone 2, and they had to edit the movie to make room for commercials. So one of the scenes they cut was the Trump scene where Macaulay's in the hotel and he's looking for directions and he asks Donald for, where's what. So they cut that scene out of the movie in 2014. Recently, Trump Jr. Got in an uproar because, the conservatives got in an uproar because the scene was cut, and Trump Jr. and Trump blamed Trudeau and the liberals for
The important parts of the country falling apart is what Canadian television, broadcast television, does with their movies.
Yeah, so that was hilarious considering that Trudeau wasn't prime minister in 2014. Trump wasn't a candidate or president in 2014. So, once again, they don't live in reality, right? So I just thought that was hilarious. Okay, back to the show.
Question: did you know that Home Alone 2 is one of the top grossing holiday movies of all time?
Well, I figured one of the Home Alones,
It's like number 3 on the top grossing holiday movies of all
Mhm.
time.
what's number one?
What?
I think it's Die Hard. No. Hold on, I gotta find this. Keep going, Mike. I will find this.
All right.
Die Hard.
Maybe, yeah. Or It's a Wonderful Life. I don't know.
A Christmas Carol.
Right.
Oh yeah. Which version? There's been so many versions of that. Yeah,
It's a
that
Wonderful
one.
Life?
That hasn't been rebooted yet.
Who's starring in it?
Some Hollywood executive just heard
No.
this podcast, and guess what's coming out next year?
Oh, come
Rebooted.
on.
Yeah.
At least
I
give
can
me.
see that.
You know
Exactly.
you know what? You know what? Put The Rock in that movie, and I'll watch it.
All right. Number 1 is Home Alone.
Oh, that's an interesting
Okay,
twist.
that's what
I think he could do it.
right.
285 millions in 1990.
Wow.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas from 2000.
Is that the animated?
No, that's Jim Carrey.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
okay.
Wow.
that's 260.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, okay. It's
Jim
lower
Carrey.
than
I
I
like
thought.
that one,
Then
actually.
Dr. Seuss Grinch 2018,
That's the animated one. Yeah.
right? Polar Express 2004 and
Never
Home
saw it.
Alone 2. Home Alone 2. $173 million. Number 5 on the list, 1992.
Well, you know what? Home Alone is I enjoy that movie. It's a classic, right? So
Yeah.
you know, yeah, Pesci makes that movie too, so it's great.
Oh yeah, great.
That's just a quality movie. There's no explanations necessary.
Okay.
All right, let me hit my top 5 TV. All right, so
Yeah, the first one.
my in no particular order for my 4, I'm gonna go with Watchmen, which we just
Go for it.
discussed. So that one definitely made my list this year. Definitely surprised me how good it was gonna be. I wasn't expecting it, and it was a good surprise. Next is a show called Good Omens, which was a miniseries from the Neil Gaiman book. It's about the coming of Armageddon because of bungling by a demon and an angel, bringing in the Antichrist into the world.
Oh, I've seen that
Yeah.
show. That's on Amazon.
Yep, that was a good
Good show.
series.
What was that series again?
Good Omens.
Good Omens. It's on Amazon.
Okay. Yeah. I saw it. No, I saw it. It was good. It was good.
It's got what's his face? Michael something.
Yeah,
The
that
guy.
actor, his face.
Yeah.
And Doctor Who.
Yes,
Yes,
and the
yes.
Doctor Who. That's
The
right.
actor,
David Tennant, right? Yep, and Michael Sheen.
Michael Sheen.
Okay.
Doctor Who. Another one. That's another one show. That's my all-time favorite. But go ahead.
hmm So next on my list is a show my wife actually found. It's a British show, and I think it was also a miniseries. I'm not sure if they're going to get. They kind of ended on a cliffhanger though. So it's called Years and Years. It was actually brought to HBO this year, and it's basically the story of a British family in 2019, and it follows them over the next 15 years as the government goes to an extreme right wing government in England. And a lot of bad things happen over the course of those 15 years. And it's about how the family's coping with all of this and how technology changes them and how the society is being changed. So it's definitely an interesting show. It's only 6 episodes. And it stars Emma Thompson. She plays the crazy right wing politician who winds up as prime minister. It's really good. The rest of the cast is basically like unknowns. If you get a chance to catch that, you'll probably get it if you have like HBO on demand or something, or HBO Go, or you can catch that. My top series for this year is Mr. Robot.
Mr. Robot.
Yeah, so I've been waiting 2 years since the last season finale for this one, and it did not let me down. They wrapped up. This was the final season. They wrapped everything up, and it went out with a bang.
By the way, Mike, I cheated and fast forwarded to the last 2 episodes before the finale just to get caught up. I'm like, holy cow! I had to read Wikipedia what I missed. Holy shit!
But remember, I told you there's episode 5 of this season when there isn't a word of dialogue in the entire thing, except at the end there's 2 words.
Wikipedia said that. 2 lines only.
And the way that they shot that episode is amazing. You got to check it out.
Yeah.
So that show is it's going to be on my decade list as well. But just to let you know, it was my top of this year.
No doubt. All right, it's very good. That leaves Keith, broadcast TV, buddy.
Broadcast TV. Okay. I don't know if these are all broadcast TV. Watchmen.
Yes, sir. That's a unanimous.
That's number 1.
Unanimous.
Yeah, that's number 1. The rest of the list is pretty much like not numbered, but
Dylan.
Watchmen. My Watchmen is number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I don't want to. I guess there's no need. There's no need to go into that any further. But my next was The Boys.
That's network streaming, man.
Dude, you can't. It's a series, bro. Like I can't. That's not.
Do you have anything that's on NBC, ABC, Fox, HBO?
No. I don't watch any of those. I watch none of those. Nobody watches that. Nope.
Harry.
Nope.
The Flash.
If it doesn't. No. Sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
All right. So let's do a snake order here. We're gonna go to network streaming. We're gonna go backwards. We're gonna start with Keith. Keith, since you started network streaming, I'll let you start your top 5 for network streaming.
Well, there's Watchmen, of course.
That's broadcast TV.
Okay, nerd.
You got The Boys. I give him that one. That's on my list.
The Boys. I just this year, what I'm really kind of interested in is like the different takes on things. And I really love what they did on just the different take on the whole like superhero villain storyline. I like that I came into it thinking one thing and it like totally shifted again inside of the course of the first season. Yeah, so like their take on like what actual corporate superheroes would look like, and I really think that was a kind of a I don't know if I'm reluctant to say groundbreaking, but I definitely like their take on that whole dynamic and that storyline. I'm really waiting for the next seasons of that. Carnival Row was another one that I liked.
Oh man, I never finished. I didn't watch the last one. I keep forgetting to watch that one. But yeah, that's a good one.
I think these last 2 years, especially this year, I think we've seen more. I know people don't like it, but like I think we've seen a lot more of social commentary in the scripted television, and it's. I like how it's being weaved into some of the actual core line of the shows without even having to be talked about, like specifically. And so Carnival Row is one of those shows to me, like, like it's a sign of the times type show, like art imitates life. And our discussions around immigration and like how we're treating immigrants right now and how, like, I think like that shows up very clearly in the whole Carnival Row, the show, and even how they address certain things and using mythical characters. Like, I think like that even, and again, I do this all the time, but I point back to a show like True Blood. in its inception, like that's what I loved about it. Like I immediately got it. Like, oh, like vampires are a race and this is racism and like Carnival Row was dope, and I think like everyone should see that. Another one that I like, Umbrella Society.
Umbrella Academy.
I'm sorry, Umbrella Academy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The again another different, fresh kind of take, and like I like what they were doing with it was a good show. It was a good show. I think it was quality acting. I'm very much waiting for and looking forward to the next season.
They got picked up for a season 2? Okay.
Yeah. I think they actually got picked up before for the next season before the season ended because of the response.
Okay. All right. What else you got, buddy?
But yeah, another one is like a dark horse, and it didn't come out this year, but I feel like the last season was this year. But Shooter, like one of my cousins just put me onto this show, like maybe a couple of weeks ago. Well, like Shooter, it's mad exciting about a military sniper that like this secret organization, like kind of like Hydra, set him up as to like shooting the Ukrainian president, and like it's like almost like a Jack Ryan-y 24 type show, but like the action in it is crazy.
What network is that on again? Oh, I'm sorry, what broadcast?
I think it's Netflix. That's what I'm watching it on. Shooter. Just take a gander at it. It's lit.
Yes, Netflix.
Really exciting. So is that 5? Yep, that's my 5. I was honorable mention to BoJack Horseman though. I don't know if any of y'all watch that.
No, my brother JR was talking about
Dude,
that.
show it's such a deep cartoon. But go ahead.
I heard that and Ricky and Morty trying to get me too. But Mike, network broadcast TV right there for you. Anyhow, network streaming. Where you at?
Okay, so I started off with Mandalorian. That's probably going to be my number 1 for this year because that's the way you do Star Wars. And they need to promote. His ass to
like
replace Kevin Kennedy.
Hanging out with me too long
as head of Lucasfilm. But yeah, fantastic show. Ended great. I'm looking forward to season 2. Next on my list, I had Raising Beyond.
Oh, yeah.
On Netflix. So the show about the kid with superpowers and the single mom trying to raise him to not kill himself and kill everybody else in the process, which was a good mix of action and comedy and kind of gets you in the feels, Next on my list, and it's the show I had been pretty much raving about all year, was Swamp Thing that got canceled on the PC streaming platform.
You failed. You tried.
How did I fail, man? That was a good show. Did you watch the show?
You're a one-person marketing team.
I know,
for them.
But did you watch the show?
No, because you didn't try hard enough.
Swamp Thing isn't as sexy. It's not sexy enough.
I guess
it's not sexy enough.
When did the Sleep with the Fish Man come out?
Sleep with the Fish.
That's probably 2 years ago, maybe. The movie that won the Oscar for the woman sleeping with the fish.
Smells Like Water.
No, not Smells Like Water.
The scent.
It's something else of water, though. It's
scent of a woman.
The scent of a water.
Scent of a woman was like 100 years ago. Like a million years ago.
Smells like fish sticks.
Damn it. The feel of water.
Scent of water. No.
Okay. It's not Scent of Water, right?
Raging Water?
It's not Scent of Water.
Where is this? I don't know.
The Shape of Water.
Shape of Water. There
Shape
you
of
go.
Water, 2017.
Starring Doug Jones, yeah. Okay.
Story about Guillermo del Toro.
Yes, okay. What does that have to do with anything?
It's a Swamp Thing parody, Getting
What?
on with the ugly beast thing.
No, they don't actually get it on in the show. So that tells me you didn't watch it, damn it.
I didn't. I had too many other
Clearly,
things.
we were watching it got canceled.
Listen, so that made my list because that one actually surprised me as well. I was like, yeah, do I really want to watch a season of Swamp Thing? But it was written really well. And if you like Titans and you like Doom Patrol, then you'll enjoy this one as well. Okay, so next I said Mandalorian, Raising Beyond, Swamp Thing. Next I had Jack Ryan, the Amazon series. So season 2 was out this year. and that one I thoroughly enjoyed as well. I loved the first season, so I want to see what they would bring me for this one. Again, didn't disappoint. Good action show if you're familiar with Jack Ryan, Red October, and Clear and Present Danger. It's that same character. And finally on my list, I would say Cobra Kai.
Ooh.
Oh, I forgot all about Cobra Kai.
Oh, you rat bastard!
Oh.
I got to delete something off my list now. Sorry, Handmaid's Tale.
So Cobra Kai season 2, I think outdid season 1 in my opinion. It brought the fire.
Oh, I don't have to put this on because I only saw season 1.
There you go.
Not this year.
No, but yeah, season 2 did not disappoint for me, and I think I'm definitely looking forward to season 3. So, and hopefully they should be bringing back more of the original cast.
Season
right?
3.
Yeah,
We're going to Japan, man.
That's
Nice.
right.
Where Miyogi, whatever the
Miyagi.
name of his karate started. Sorry, spoiler. All right, that brings us to Chris.
All right. Now, amazingly, this list is longer than all of the others, so I'm kind of having to make decisions as I talk. So we're going to start with Stranger Things. Stranger Things season 3.
Good one. Damn it.
Also.
It did.
That's on my list.
Right.
That's on my list.
It did good work. It really did.
Yep.
It grew the characters up, but didn't make them feel weird. You know, it had something for everyone to do. Even though the one kid was literally just like a bad receptor. He was like, "Oh, it's here."
Yeah.
Like a bad one, man. It's raining. We know, Will.
He was
We know.
the EKG, the Ghostbusters, the EKG meter thing.
Right, yeah.
And the
That's
emo
right.
kid that just wanted to kiss all the
Yeah.
time was really kind of like killing my vibe a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, but I
Yeah,
get that. I
yeah.
like they're playing
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
hormones and stuff with the kids. So yeah, that was a great end to that section of the series because I know season 4 is supposed to move away from Indiana. So we'll see. I wonder if we'll see 11 again and all those guys. Be fun. But what's his name is out in the movies now. He's everywhere.
Yeah.
Finn Wolfhard.
Mm-hmm.
He's in like 3 movies now. Maybe it's just his
Who's Finn
name.
again?
When you have a badass name, people want to put that in there.
Yeah. Right.
I think. Then I'm going to call out Pennyworth.
Oh,
I think I'm the only
Ah,
person still
yeah. No,
watching
no.
this.
No,
Yeah.
I saw the whole season 2. You convinced me, and you were right. That's a good show.
Man, so now I gotta watch it.
You remember earlier in the year I mentioned that I'm not big on sidekick shows, right?
Right.
Like usually it's got to be the main superheroes for me, but this one was one of the ones where I said, yeah. But my only issue with that show is that they could have removed any reference to Batman and it's still a good show. Like just change all the names and it's still good.
Yeah, I don't
Like
think
spy drama.
I don't think they needed to have the Waynes
Yeah.
in there at all. I think take them
No,
out.
exactly.
But like I said that when we talked about it last time. Just change their name to something else, and it's a perfect show. I don't need them
Yep.
there. So yeah, that great. I'm gonna have to say The Mandalorian. At first, if it wasn't for this last episode, I might not have. I might have called it a good show, but not great. But they capped this season. These last 2 episodes really brought it home. It really felt like a full, interesting circle story, right? It felt like it finally went somewhere.
By the way, not bad with a bunch of different directors with one singular vision getting you to the finish line,
Right? Well,
Not bad.
exactly.
Not bad.
But they also, no characters we know. So I like, though they say that in the next season we're going to get characters we know from the movies. I'm kind of worried about that.
Well, I don't know. We'll see how they do it, though.
All right.
We'll see.
But
We'll see.
all I'm going to say is hashtag Favreau Filoni 2020.
Now, hey, before you say that, Favreau directed one of the biggest, most successful flops of the year,
Which one was that?
Lion King.
Oh, damn. Well, it can't be perfect.
Right.
No one's 100% at the free throw.
Right. All right. So I think I'm going to call out His Dark Materials
Oh,
because it hasn't been called out.
I love it.
You know what, Keith? I was going to say Umbrella Academy, but you said it, and I think it's a great show. But I want to get His Dark Materials in there because I think the
no,
acting
you're perfectly correct, bro. You're perfectly
acting
correct.
in
why
that is
I like the
so
snake method
good.
now. 'Cause no one
The
gets it.
CGI is perfect for television.
What?
I have not. Well, I haven't had any problems with the talking animals. I hate
No.
talking animals, but these have been. I don't know what they. I don't know. It's magic.
Is it better than Lion King at talking animals?
Yeah, they have expressions.
Oh, because I only seen that one episode. I haven't
They're not
got
the
that.
main characters, so it's not.
That's
like
the thing.
they're
Yeah, they don't talk often. Yeah.
they're more an extension of the character that you're watching. So it's like if a character could talk to themselves. That's really what it's like when they're talking to their demons. And I think because Raisin Dion was already mentioned, I'm gonna go with Punisher season 2.
Wait, that was
Is
this
that
year?
this
That was this year?
Wasn't it?
Yeah,
That's right.
it
That's back in
was.
March.
Dang.
God damn
Yo,
it! All right,
so
somebody
many,
else got to come off.
much more good TV than it was movies.
Yeah. I could, and for streaming services, I could have put 20 on my list easy.
Yeah, oh yeah. No, it came out in January this year. It just squeaked over the line.
Yeah,
And,
I don't have any space for it.
It wasn't. I thought season 1 was technically better, but it was still a great show. And
Yeah, it was.
Why can't I think of his name? The
John
guy
Berko, the actor.
yeah, John Bernthal is a great. He needs to be in a movie, in a Punisher
my
movie.
buddy now. Since I have a photo with him at the gym twice.
That's right. My buddy. My buddy. Sorry. Yeah, that's it.
That's good. That's a good.
Shout out to Love, Death, and Robots.
So I haven't seen that one.
No,
That's
I
the
did.
animated one, right?
Nice shout out.
So let me.
It's little mini-sodes of little mini stories on Netflix.
So let me go ahead and start closing out the network streaming. So my top 5. Number 5, thanks my Cobra Kai. Once I got this show, season 2 was a great show. It got better than the first. Just when I thought it couldn't get any better,
I got to get up with
they
you guys.
they give you some storylines that connect you with the old actors and the old Cobra Kai without spoiling it. There's one episode that to me was like, damn, dude, they went there. It was such a great show. And then at the same time,
about the campfire episode.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was heartbreaking, man. That was good.
Yeah, I didn't realize that the actor in real life had died too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
anyhow, so they did that at the not at the cost of not developing the younger actors, but they integrated the new younger cast with the older characters on the show, which is something that Star Wars couldn't do at all in the 3 movies. So I'm looking forward to season 3. I'm hearing that they're going to go to Japan, and his first girlfriend from the first movie is going to be introduced, so that's going to be nice.
My number about Elizabeth Shue?
Yeah, Elizabeth Shue.
Really?
Yeah, rumors.
Mike's gonna watch now.
I'm all in now.
Because remember how it ended. So
Mm-hmm.
number 4 is Stranger Things. This show season 3, I think.
Season 3.
Season 3, yes. Season 3. Went up the ante. For a while, I thought the middle part, and this is like a lot of Netflix shows, even like Punisher, like the middle arc of these shows get to be a little long and dull. I feel like fillers. But when you get to that third act, man, this show was great. So I loved it. Number 3 on my list is The Boys. Everyone, I think, kind of mentioned this show. This was back when my wife was hitting heaters with me on picking movies and me like saying, yeah, I don't want to watch it. And I watch it, I'm like, holy shit, this was a good movie. She was at her peak with this movie selection. So The Boys is a great show. I love everything they did about the traditional superhero world, but in a practical world, with having a publicist and media and all that stuff, and in a dark twist. So I'm looking forward to season 2. Saw the trailer, I'm hyped. So that's number 3. Number 2 is something that's different from everything we've talked about. It's a more serious tone, but it was a Netflix documentary called When They See Us. It was a great show.
Fantastic.
I actually watched it with the whole family. Some of the parts were a little adult for my 11-year-old, but it was great for him to see it and have a conversation about it afterwards.
When I was watching that, how many times I wanted to scream at the TV, like, why? Why are you doing this?
It hits you in the nerves. It's raw.
Yeah,
some scenes.
Man.
Nothing
Especially
was the next to last episode, I think it was.
No, but think about it. Like, for most of us who grew up in that city, right?
New York. Yep.
It could have been us, right? Anytime.
Yep.
So
it definitely hit with those of us who lived in New York around that time period.
Yeah.
And who happened to be of color. So that was my second favorite network streaming show. And number 1, of course, is Mandalorian. you're watching the show, Keith, I don't know what's wrong with you. I'll give you my freaking Disney Plus account. Get on this train and enjoy this delicious Star Wars flavor. So Mandalorian was my top pick. Honorable mention I had to boot out because of Cobra Kai would have been Dolomite Is My Name, also on Netflix.
Oh,
Murphy.
That was a movie.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's a movie on a network.
But that's
is that a series
that's
or
a movie?
So yeah, continuing the snake fashion, social media. Unless Chris, you got something to say about Mandalorian, go for it.
About the Mandalorian, I want to say that one of my first criticisms about the Mandalorian was it felt like they were doing something and putting like a Star Wars layer on top.
Westerns,
right? We talked about how it felt a lot. Oh man, I've seen this Western before, in my black and white 1955 television episode, right? But I'm thinking after Rise of Skywalker, and a lot of this just because it's new on our brains, we've been giving it a lot of crap. But I'm wondering if what is really good about The Mandalorian is that it's story first and Star Wars second. Like they're really engaging the characters and everything else, and then layering that Star Wars candy goodness on top. And I don't know if it's just me, but it's just a thought that entered my brain the other day, and I was like, is that just the better part? Because I felt like Rise of Skywalker went, oh, what's Star Wars? We need to put these Star Wars bits in there and then do story after the fact.
No, Chris, it's funny because I rewatched as much as I could with my father-in-law over the holidays when he was here. And he recognized, I forgot which episode it was, but beat for beat, a remake of The Seven Samurai. Oh, but Magnificent Seven,
Magnificent Seven. Yeah.
And he doesn't watch, I mean, he's watching Star Wars movies now because of me and his daughter, but, like, he's not as entrenched into Star Wars as you are. He probably knows less about it than Keith. So for him to sit there and watch that episode, and he goes, "Oh, this is blah 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 blah." I was like, "Holy shit!" Like he's right. Like it's fun because you make a great point. Like they might be rehashing old genres that are tried and true, but they give it to you in the Star Wars packaging universe that you can actually enjoy without decanonizing Star Wars or offending Star Wars fans out there. So
so for anybody who wants to how the sausage is made stuff, go to YouTube and look up Everything is a Remix. Everything is a Remix is a great little series that shows you where, at least in the Star Wars episodes, where George got his ideas. And it shows you that George did a great job of taking the things he loved and finding the bits and pieces and made a classic story that everybody could latch onto and love, and then put his Star Wars universe layer into that. And I think it shows that, okay, this guy didn't come up from nowhere and have this amazing idea, but it's also not horrible as an artist to say, these are the other creatives that inspired me, and this is what comes out after I see those things. And it's a great series on YouTube. Go check it out.
All right. So let's switch gears here to...
Hey, can I just honorable mention real quick?
Oh, now you want to get some honorable mention? Go for it.
Sorry, just one, because I know Keith is going to agree with me on this one, but Lost in Space Season 2.
Oh, man. I just finished it last night.
Wasn't fantastic. Yeah, what'd you think?
I loved it. Yeah, it's honorable mention because it's...
right? And
it's technically still 2019, but I would have put it in my top 5. I would have booted something out of there.
Man, that's another one that would have fought into my top 5.
Yeah,
like, there's
really
a lot of good scripted television. I'm not even going to say this year. I've been way more interested in the scripted television of the last 5 years, and I'm going to have to say movies, in movies in general. And that has been something different than something of the last 20 years. Like,
yeah, I'm going to agree with you because it seemed like reality TV was taking over, but I'm glad that...
Yes, I thought we were done with scripted TV. I definitely thought we were done. Then you had stuff like The Sopranos and The Wire and
Lost,
Breaking Bad. I was like, okay, we're back. Yeah. Stuff like as much as I rally against like remakes and like talk about the loss of creativity and blah blah blah, how they did Lost in Space is how a remake should be done.
Well, and this moves us into our pop culture part and social media part of this discussion is several times this year, older directors famous people were asked about streaming television. They were asked about Marvel movies. They were asked about the popularity of these things, and they pushed back and they said, well, streaming movies aren't movies, or Marvel movies aren't art, or this or that. And one thing we've definitely noticed is that streaming networks, broadcast television, has really upped their game and brought the interesting, non-blockbustery, and even taking the blockbuster superhero, is everybody sick of this stuff, and making something interesting, new, The Boys, Watchmen, and stuff like that. So it's definitely part of this discussion is that we've seen the resurgence in the last several years of scripted television, specifically drama, action television, and some comedy as well. Though nothing for me, but you guys have watched some stuff that you found really good. I hear lots of things about Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and Barry, and those kind of things.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine, yeah.
Schitt's Creek.
What?
Schitt's Creek.
Well, let's move to the pop culture section then.
Yeah, so let's do that, if I may. So yeah. I thought this would be an interesting thing for us to talk about because, again, 2019 was a boom of not just great writing in TV and movies, but social media, pop culture. All these things came up in the forefront of our consciousness. And for me, when I talk about social media, really stuff like memes, GIFs, viral things that we use in our normal lexicon of just communication these days, which is ridiculous, but it's the way society is moving. For example, for me, no particular order, for example, the Baby Yoda memes became very relevant and recently, because obviously The Mandalorian was dropped earlier November, early November, where you can use Baby Yoda for family occasions, work, politics. It doesn't matter. It was so universal that I was surprised how quick it exploded, to the point where it may even eclipse the fact that the show was doing well. Of those who weren't watching it, all they knew about was this Baby Yoda figure and different pics and photos that they can use for like whatever means of communication that they're using. So to me, I thought that was hilarious. That was one of my first picks of like top moments in social media when it comes to memes and GIFs. Another one was, unfortunately, Game of Thrones, which was not on anyone's top 5 list for obvious reasons. But the snafus of the Starbucks cup that was shown on screen. So the water bottle became, again, a predominantly work-related topic, but it was used universally throughout the country. Another meme, or I want to say the photo, was like the screaming lady with the white cat meme.
I love that one.
This was used a lot in politics.
Yeah, man, this thing
particularly with Democrats and Republicans during impeachment trials. Trump has definitely been a victim of this one a lot. So that was one of my favorites. And then the OK Boomer one that happened recently which became one that was generational. In fact, I was at a leadership seminar not too long ago, and mid-20s to, let's say, lower 50s. So it was a pretty large group in age. And someone made the comment about that, and he goes, what's a boomer? What's an okay boomer? And I was like, I'll tell you at lunch. Hilarious. And then as far as social media, we've started this whole podcast and Facebook and Instagram for Heroes Peak podcast. But one of the things that I think will be a challenge for us next year is using YouTube as a means of us getting out there. And YouTube has actually opened me to this one guy, Long Beach Griffey, who I find hilarious on YouTube. As recently as the other night, my daughter is huge into Starbucks and the pink venti.
The what?
Drink.
Wait, the what?
And for whatever reason,
what is that?
The pink drink. It's like
Is that the unicorn drink?
Whatever. It's like a pink strawberry drink that's very popular at Starbucks with like the younger crowd, because they're not drinking caffeine, but they're going to Starbucks to look like they're going to Starbucks.
I must be getting old.
Yeah, look it up.
Like, why?
So,
yeah.
Yes.
Anyway,
we are old.
Sorry.
Just deal with it.
So Long Beach Griffey did a sketch about him ordering a pink drink from Starbucks, which is hilarious. So I definitely would recommend that. Honorable mention to me as far as YouTube is the RDC World guys, who it's a bunch of guys. They're all black that are really into anime and obviously superhero stuff, but they do some well choreographed camera action angles of everything, of like just parodies of popular video games and anime. And recently they did the Amber Alert one, to me, which I found probably the funniest. I still laugh every time I see that clip of what you think happens to you when there's an Amber Alert, what they expect from you as a regular person. Your phone's going off, to the point where they look like they had a drone camera following them in a highway as they were driving to the rescue. Hilarious. So keeping that in context, Chris, what would you say some of your favorite moments in social media this year?
Yeah, I got kind of jumped into Twitter full force, I think, this year. So I really enjoyed having arguments about Star Wars and superheroes. That was the highlight of my year. No, just kidding. I don't know. The memes were funny. It's all timed. It feels good to kind of be aware of some stuff, because I say it all the time. I've got older kids, so sometimes I've got to be told what's going on. It feels all right to be on top of things. Like the meme with Lady Gaga, the turn around so I can see you one more time. That was a good one this year. The photograph one with Chad Kroger, and misuses of memes by the president of the United States.
Oh, jeez.
The fact that he was all over that he was all over social media more than the rest of us. That's kind of scary. So that's probably the biggest thing about social media this year. And canceled. People getting canceled left and right.
Cancel culture, right?
Cancel culture.
Cancel culture. Yeah, it really is. It was the biggest social news of the year. Outside of anything specifically politics or anything like that, I think the word this year would be canceled.
All right, Mike. What about you?
So we're talking pop culture stuff.
No, social media only.
Well, I don't know if I have anything to add from you guys. You guys pretty much covered it all. We talked about.
Oh, what about Facebook? There was a big to do. Facebook saying they weren't gonna.
They weren't going to vet them.
Political ads
for facts.
Yeah,
that one annoyed the hell out of me.
Therefore, freedom of
speech.
Freedom of speech, no matter how.
Yeah, but so here's the problem. So here's the thing. If I want to put a political ad on TV, it has to be factual. Otherwise, they can't air it. That's the law. So at what point do we decide?
Unless you market as entertainment. So if you look at some of the worst offenders of this, they put, like, at the end of Fox News, they have for entertainment.
No, I'm talking about ads. I'm not talking about actual shows. So if you put a political ad on TV, it has to be factual, but from the FCC. So, but the problem is we haven't reached this to social media. I think we should, because if you're going to advertise...
That's not 100% true, though.
No, of course they get away with it, because who's watching all the time, right?
And it's really, they depend on people actually fact-checking those kinds of things. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like they don't really do the fact-checking. Like, yeah, like, so a guy like Trump gets away with saying, like, crazy shit all the time.
I know.
Yeah, and even if someone does fact check it, the worst offense is just take it down, and then
just take it down. It'll be after. Yeah, it'll be after the fact. It's definitely not getting vetted before it goes out to the people.
Yeah, I mean, look, here's the thing. What I realized this year is that, I fought with Trump supporters a lot this year, and they just don't seem to. They're in this bubble, and they just don't seem, for the most part, to live in fact and reality. Because no matter what facts you lay out to them and what truth you bring to them, it's all fake to them, and it's all propaganda, and it's all, you're just a snowflake, and you're just,
Is this the year that QAnon started?
No,
not started.
No, but it built up.
Not started, but like prominence. But it definitely didn't start this year.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm behind on that.
Yeah, so it's, I don't know. It concerns me, and I'm really concerned about next year's election. But I'm hopeful. I'm going to remain hopeful, right?
That's all we can do, my friend. That's all we can do. Keith, what about you? Social media.
Well, social media, I think, I have to echo Mike in that. I actually think the biggest social media deal is how important and how big the president's voice is on social media. I really think that we're reaching a turning point in how quote unquote business is done. I definitely think that social media wise, bigger than memes, bigger than Trump really changed the game. He's forced other people to actually have to come on social media. He's forced the whole news cycle to have to pay attention and be very aware of Twitter. He's forced other politicians, old politicians, to have to be active on Twitter. Like it's like I really feel like he was a force that pushed this whole thing into a digital sphere and his presence gave or activity gave social media a lot more, like a big boost in the arm in terms of like how impactful it is to our day-to-day lives.
That and the separation of Facebook into older groups, your older family members and whatnot, and then Twitter having these multiple little sections, and then kids moving over to new ones. Everybody's like, oh, kids will stay here, when actually it turned out that the adults, once they found a spot in Facebook, they stayed for years, and the kids keep finding new areas, and they're like, oh, Twitter's for kids. Well,
TikTok and
right. This is us talking to us now. Like
right.
People need to stop deluding themselves. Like if you're on Facebook, you're talking to other adults. Like kids aren't on Facebook, so it's really kind of like that acknowledgement, and even the things that we like and we see, like these are now. It's primarily more like adult pushing the Facebook narrative, which is I'm not one of the ones who look at it like, oh, this is horrible, it's bad. Like I actually look at it as a medium that gets information out very quickly, and like we can see things real time and we can communicate real time. I'll never be against that. And it's a little bit bittersweet, as we were talking about, like, okay, like Facebook is not going to regulate what's political ads for accuracy or this, that, and the other. And it sounds like, oh, that's a loss, and like, oh, he should do something about it because that's how we feel. But you don't always win with the free speech battle. Like it's not like sometimes the win for free speech is the loss for what you're trying to achieve. Like, cats want to lie. They're not like the Facebook doesn't put out its own propaganda, meaning like they're not writing like news reports, and this Facebook is a news platform where it actually generates the media that from it. It's merely a platform. Now I still kind of battle inside with the idea of like, okay, the platform now has to regulate what people are saying on it. Cool, but what happens now if it then leans towards our side? You know what I'm saying? Like, what can't we say? Like, what can't I don't know. I have a little bit of an issue with that kind of like regulation. I'm not really 100% upset at Mark Zuckerberg for that particular decision, because it really isn't kind of their job.
Yeah, once you regulate one, I mean, who's be sitting there regulating what?
And where does it stop?
Behind that, yeah.
It's not a newspaper. It's not a media outlet like MSNBC that actually owns the news that it's putting out and blah blah blah. It's merely a platform. Like,
I think what we've seen is that once people have access to all information, it's too much, and that people will go to their corners and find the information, not just that they want, but that's they start to find groups or people that will feed them information that they find digestible, and they will continue to accept no matter what happens. Once it's trusted, they can go farther and farther and farther, and it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. They've already been ingrained. So it's like when we were kids, and TV will rot your brain, and why don't put little kids in front of the TV? Well, that has now moved into don't put adults in front of the Fox News, right? Because they'll sit there and they'll just watch it and eat it up, and because they don't have to be regulated, just like Facebook, just like Twitter, to be honest. And I've seen it happen. We've all seen it happen to a number of things. You get that picture. The picture looks like a certain thing. The headline goes with it, and opinions fly. And then we get stupid shit about a teenager with a smug-ass face. And it goes way off the reservation about how important it really is. Some things that happened got thrown out of proportion. Colin Kaepernick is a famous out of proportion thing that happened in the United States in the last several years. I mean, what he was doing was quiet and relatively unimportant to the rest of the viewing audience. Right?
Precisely.
And the same thing, and we can go over left-wing and right-wing things that happened that got blown out of proportion. But definitely it happens constantly, and especially with the way social media move things around and not manipulates it, but the people using the social media have the ability to manipulate the information and push it where they want. I mean, I've seen the same news story used two different ways with two different headlines with two different reactions. It's crazy, but it's, even though everybody has full access. I mean, have you guys run into this? You talk to a person on Facebook, they post something, you go, "Oh, that's horrible." Then you look at it, it's like 7 years old. And you're like, "Why are you sharing this?" "Oh, well, I just thought." And you're like, but it's old. It's not what you think it is. Well, I'm just going to leave it there. It's just for whatever. Like,
right.
they